Stumbling around your shop wastes more time than you think. Today, I'm building a simple hand plane till that keeps your tools organized, within reach, and ready to grab. And if you stick around to the end, I'll show you a trick that keeps your planes protected for years. Let's dive in. I recently built an upgraded workbench with better work holding so I can start tackling more advanced projects. But I ran into a problem. All of my hand planes are stored on the opposite side of the shop, and the setup I've been using isn't even big enough to hold all of them. So instead of working efficiently, I'm constantly walking back and forth just to grab the tools I need. The solution is this hand plane till. This is going to give me dedicated storage, better organization, and quick access right next to my workbench. And long term, the goal is to build out this entire wall with dedicated storage for all of my hand tools. I've got full plans available if you want to follow along and build this exactly as I did. Those are in my YouTube store. But this isn't a step-by-step video. For this one, I really wanted to focus on the design, the workflow, and some of the challenges that came up during the build. The till is set up to store 4 hand planes, 2 block planes, 2 shoulder planes, and it's got a couple cubbies for accessories. And the best part is, it's easy to customize. You can adjust the width and tweak the divider spacing to fit the specific planes you have in your shop. Lately, I've been gravitating towards smaller projects. There's something really satisfying about starting and finishing something in a day and actually seeing the results right away. I still enjoy the bigger builds, but there's always a point where I'm ready to move on. This project hits a nice balance. It's a smaller build, but it still has a few challenges built in. One of those challenges was the angled cuts for the plywood backing. The plans call for 2 cuts at 10.7 degrees. The smaller one was straightforward. I could make that with the board flat on the saw. But the larger cut was a different story. That one creates a flat back so the till sits clean against the wall, and there's no way to make that cut with the board lying flat. So I had to stop and think through how to make that safely and accurately with the board vertical. I ended up throwing together a quick jig to ride along the table saw fence, just to give me something solid to clamp the board to. Nothing fancy, but it got the job done. This part of the build got me thinking. How often do you find yourself stopping mid-project just to make a jig for one specific cut? Let me know in the comments. I decided to keep the joinery simple but effective. This build uses rabbets and dados to lock everything together. You don't need complicated techniques to get something strong and durable. You still end up with clean lines, solid joinery, and a little bit of style without overcomplicating the process. For materials, I went with cherry and maple. The contrast looks great, but it also helps visually separate each slot. Plus, I already had cherry milled up for my workbench build, and maple happened to be on sale, so that worked out pretty well. The till itself is only about 4.5 inches wide. I wanted to keep it low profile since it's right next to the workbench. Space is always at a premium, and I don't want to be bumping into it while I'm working. And for mounting, I went with a French cleat. It's simple, strong, and perfect for shop storage like this. second challenge was cutting the dado for the back panel. It's a 1/2 inch wide, a 1/4 inch deep, and at an angle. I knew right away that trying to do that on the table saw with a dado stack was going to be tough to dial in accurately. So I came up with a different approach. I cut a couple scraps into straight strips using material I already had from earlier in the build, and used double-sided tape to secure them exactly where I wanted the dado on the side panels to be. That gave me a quick, repeatable guide. From there, I used a 1/4 inch template bit in my router and snuck up on the final depth with 2 1/8 inch passes. Clean, controlled, and honestly a lot less stressful than trying to fight it on the table saw. The last challenge came up after I realized I made a mistake. I installed the middle divider between the cubbies a 1/2 inch too long. I was sure I remembered the dimensions, so I didn't double check the plans before cutting it. I made it 4.5 inches wide, which takes it all the way to the back, but the back panel is actually inset into a rabbet, so this piece ended up sticking out by about 1/2 inch. To fix it, I tried trimming it down with a straight bit on the router, but the base plate of my router was too small, so it wasn't very stable, and the result wasn't great. Luckily, this piece sits toward the back of the cubbies, so it's not very visible. I can clean it up with a little filler, and it won't be a big deal in the final piece. If you're enjoying this kind of content and want to see more builds like this, I'd really appreciate your support. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and drop a comment below. It really helps push these videos out to more people. I was a little worried about having my very expensive hand planes suspended 5 feet above a concrete floor. So to give myself a little extra insurance, I picked up these rare earth magnets. I drilled a hole in each bay and used CA glue to secure a magnet in each one. This gives me peace of mind that if I bump the till or there's an earthquake, which we don't get, the planes will be safe and snug. Now that everything's assembled, you can really see how this comes together. Each plane has its own spot, the angled slots make it easy to grab what you need, and everything is right within arm's reach. And now, instead of wasting time digging around for tools, everything is organized, accessible, and ready to go, which means I can spend more time building and less time searching. Thanks for watching, all. If you enjoyed this content and want to see more from the Pecos Aesthetic Woodshop, check out this video on how I built my workbench.